I am Jas Holmes. I grew up in northern Florida, but I moved around the South a lot, and now I am in Colorado. I like to draw the figure, the human body, because I feel like it's the most expressive part of ourselves. It's our entire body, and you can say a lot with the position and where they are. And I really enjoy talking about my own Creole culture and my love of food and just color and everything that I was taught to be ashamed of when I was younger. I try to bring the beauty in that kind of culture that has been erased or is trying to be erased. It's kind of a long process. I do a lot of research first, where I will usually find something inspiring, and then I need to know more about that, know more about the history, because a lot of my work is about my ancestry and me finding these new pathways that I never knew existed, because my ancestry has been kept away from me for a long time. So I'm learning more about myself at the same time. So I'll do a lot of research into that through my family or through literature. And then as I'm going, it's geez, these images pop in my head. And I'll start to draw something, and then it comes together, and then I just kind of let it happen after that. So that's the process. A lot of reading, a lot of talking to people, and soul searching too. Goes behind it. It kind of depends, honestly. If I'm doing a really gestural figurative work, like these pieces over here, they don't take me too long. They take me about maybe a week. I usually do them in one session. This is the only one I have in here right now, but someone dancing, I'll do in one session, and then I'll work on it throughout the week. These pieces behind me, these really detail-oriented pieces, that take me half a year sometimes. I've been working on this since last September. So, yeah, it took me a long time. And I'm in here every day, usually from 9 to 5. So I work 6 to 7 hours a day on it. Sometimes the weekends too. So, yeah, it's just a lot of hours put behind it. But all those details, they take a long time. The best advice I've been given is from my old drawing mentor growing up. He always told me that to not think of your artwork as too precious, and to not think of every piece as a masterpiece. That stops you from enjoying your work. It stops you from trying to you make something and you fail, and then you think oh, I'm not good at this. Really, it's just a step in the right direction. You have to keep doing it. And failure is a good thing. So that's my advice that I used to say to my students all the time. Just don't stress out about it. Just have fun. If you don't like it, it's okay. Move on. That's definitely the best advice. And that's the advice that I give to other artists too. Is something about being young, especially in college, when you have exams and you have critiques, you want it to be perfect, and you don't want to hear anything bad, but that's okay. Not everybody's gonna like your work, and most of the time, it's just not going to be a masterpiece. It might be to you, but just keep making, try new things, experiment, especially, and just have fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. That's my best advice, I would say. Happened in grad school. I graduated 2 years ago from grad school. And it happened actually right after I graduated. It didn't happen during grad school. My experience in education was odd. Coming from the South and being just a Black person from the South, I was treated in a way that a lot of Black artists are. We're expected to only talk about our pain. So that's all I did for a long time. And it wasn't until I started researching my own ancestry and realizing oh, I'm not just a big ball of pain. My whole ancestry isn't just slavery. It's the beauty of food and ingredients and culture that I grew up with, farming and things like that. I never thought about it as important. And it wasn't until I finally woke up one day and was this is the most important aspect of my life. What am I doing? And I started to focus on that, and happiness and like creativity and just the beauty of my culture, that's when I had an aha moment of like, I want to make stuff like this. And since then, I have too many ideas all at once, and I like want to do so many different things all at the same time because I'm excited for the first time, instead of just trying to get a piece to say something about my pain that I can't describe. So that's my aha moment when I realized like it's about me and my history and like my family and just my people in general. Where I grew up, like I grew up in Florida, so northern Florida, like 15 minutes away from Alabama. So I basically Alabama. My whole family's from parts of the South, like Louisiana, Georgia, North Carolina. And growing up in those states, you're actually not really allowed to learn about Black culture. Like it actually, as of yesterday, became illegal to teach Black history in Florida. And that's the environment that I grew up with. So I had no idea who I was or like where I came from. And the more I researched, the more I realized like why I was eating certain foods and where they came from, and noticing that I am Creole. Because I grew up eating etouffee and like jambalaya and gumbo, and half of my family speaks French, and I didn't know why. And just looking into that like amazing culture, I really wanted to represent that, like how unique it is and how just colorful it is. Like I don't know if y'all have ever been to New Orleans, but New Orleans is just like this loud, music like centered place, like the best food and the kindest people. And I love that type of like party atmosphere where it's just like a big hug. It's not really like hectic, it's just calming. I wanted to find ways to like express that southern aspect to people that isn't like shrouded in like death and pain, but instead of like happiness and like pride. And so that's what I focus on, my Creole heritage for the most part. But also my West Indian heritage, because my dad is West Indian. And so I was eating plantains and like beef patties and jerk chicken at the same time as everything like this. So I have like a really rich history that I just never like had the chance to feel like I could care about. And those are the aspects of my culture I try to represent and give to everybody. I honestly haven't met many Creole artists. I've met a lot of Black Southern artists that I'm very inspired by, like Karen Walker, Sonny Clark. She is West Indian, and she came to CSU actually before I didn't even know who she was. And I met her, and she changed my life. And just a lot of like Southern Black artists I really love that talk about different things. Like a lot of them do talk about pain, because there is that push of that's like real Black art. Um, and I haven't met a lot of them that actually talk about joy or happiness. So I had to make that decision for myself. And I use them as inspiration of like just how they talk about art and how they talk about what they're trying to do, what they're trying to convey. And I take that and let it inspire me to like try to be that person that is that pillar of happiness for other people, like especially Black folk that like they feel like they don't have that in fine arts. So yeah, those are my two main Southern Black artists that I love. Like I said earlier, I started out only drawing anime and cartoons. Like, so when I first started, my work was really anime-like big eyes, kind of like you would see in a manga. It didn't really have a lot of substance to it behind that. It was just like I could draw people really well. And as I kept going professionally, I started to add color because I hated color too. I struggled with that for a while until I realized I should just use color like naturally, just let it come to me and not have a color scheme, just see what happens. The more I did that, the more comfortable I got using only color. And now it just completely changed to where it's like the most colorful it could possibly be. I wish I could show you some of my old art. It's just black and white and like no background, just a person floating in air. But now I even like incorporated backgrounds and surrealism into my work too, where it's not a landscape that would exist naturally. It's more of a dreamscape in my mind that I feel like exists in a different plane somewhere. And that's how my work has changed a lot. Contemporary art to me means like breaking the mold. Fine arts, as much as art likes to think it's really accepting, it's not. It's starting to change. I think a lot of young people like yourself are changing it, which is great. That's how it should be. So contemporary art to me means trying new things, not doing the same thing over and over again. I think traditions are meant to be broken in ways, like especially in art, because it's meant to be creative, and you should be as creative as possible, talking about as many things. And contemporary art to me is also a type of protesting. So I truly feel like the original artists were anarchists, like people who just didn't think about society or try to change society for the better and advocate for their fellow people. So that's how I see contemporary art. It should be saying something. It should be connected to yourself in some way. It should be inspiring folks around you and helping society in a certain way. That's what I hope my art is doing, at least. So I hope all artists really want to do